Okay, so we've talked about being wary or not just getting suckered because it's a brand or it's expensive or people are showing you that it sounds cool. You got to look at what it really is made of and what you're really putting your money into. I has to do with intentional or having a plan and checking the influences even as you create these plans and follow through. S is now strategic. Now, it sounds similar to the others, so really the essence of this is strategic stewards. What does that mean? One of the hardest but most important questions when it comes to money, and I'd like to think even in parenting, is where will you get your source? How will you know whether what you're doing is right? And the answer to that we've answered in our own lives, if you don't mind us sharing, has to do with the idea of, well, we don't really own anything. These kids aren't ours. The money we seem to have and have earned aren't really ours because our job is just to be a steward. Our firm belief is that God owns everything. That's a good thing because it relieves the pressure off of us when we feel like we don't have enough or we don't know what we're doing. Since God owns our kids, He blessed us with them, He gave us these things, and He will tell us how to use them. Does that make sense?
Or how to take care.
It's also stressful because if we don't do it right, if we don't steward it right, then it really is to our disadvantage. So we keep asking ourselves, God, how do we use all these things you gave us for your purposes? How do we help raise up our kids in the way you want? So in the area of money, a strategic steward asks these questions as well. How do you want us to use your money? And this principle is what will help allow you to enforce and apply the principles we shared previously. Being wary, being intentional, because this question answers the question, why? Why should I do these things? Why should I be more conscious? Why can't I just spend on whatever I want? This answers that the reason why, right? It is because we are to be good stewards. We don't know any of these things, and we trust God to give us what we need. You want to buy something for your children, you need it. You trust God that He will provide it as you are a good steward doing your part, right? So a steward is not someone who just sits on his bum and does nothing. A steward, strategic steward, says, okay, I will do the best I can to provide what I need for my family. And as I do and as I go, I need to keep asking God as I get the money, where do you want me to put it? How do you want me to spend it? Every spending decision becomes a spiritual decision, even the purchases you make. And that helps you become wary, helps you become intentional. And the reason why this idea of stewardship is so important is because it is one of the biggest principles in money that has broken me and has shaped me. I used to think that what I make is mine, and I would feel entitled, like, you know what, I owe this to myself because it's my money. And it brought me into a point where I don't want to overshare, but I almost lost all our money, and Joy didn't know, and I was very stressed. And I came to a breaking point. Someone told me, Edric, maybe the reason why you're so stressed and you can't seem to get any big inroads in the area of money is because you keep thinking it's your money and you owe it to yourself to buy things and spend for yourself. And I realized she's right. And she said that, you have to remember God owns everything and you're to be a steward. So when you shift that mindset and ask instead, how do you want me to spend and use your money? It does great things for your soul. It does great things for you as a person. It has been a constant learning. It's not a one-time overnight thing. There are still moments where I want to be able to do things and spend. I learned in this verse, Psalm 37:4, which says, delight yourself in the Lord and He will give you the desires of your heart. And that's pretty much what that is. A steward delights himself in the things of God and following Him and obeying Him. And as we do, and He shows us how to do it and spend and use our time and money, etc., and we do it, He gives us the desires of our heart. I really am living a life I don't deserve. A wife I don't deserve. 6 children I don't deserve. So this is a big thing. This is a tough thing, but you need to be able to wrestle with, okay, what is it all for? Am I really a steward? Do I agree with what Edric and Joy are sharing right now? It has shaped me. It has shaped countless other lives. And we're sharing this for free to you guys as a principle in being wise. So, WIS, we're now going to go to the final one, E.